I cheated on my manipulative boyfriend to escape our toxic relationship, and I don't regret it. TLDR. Edit. Saying it at the bottom wasn't enough, so I'll clarify now that this was 3 years ago. I don't regret cheating on him because I'm safe from him now, but I don't condone cheating. And Eve never done it again. I met my ex-boyfriend through my best friend, his sister, and we dated for 2 years. He got me into fitness and helped me improve my health a lot. He was somewhat of a role model for me. The biggest issue I had was that my boyfriend would not tell me he loved me. I would say I love you, and he would make it awkward like I said something I shouldn't have or ignore I said anything. He would often compliment other women, but could not do the same for me. At the beginning of our relationship, he was verbally affectionate, however. Over the next year and more, I would talk to him constantly about how hurtful his lack of verbal affection was, and his response would be, "There are cultural differences between us. And we don't say I love you in my house. It's uncomfortable for me to say it, and I don't want to change who I am for someone despite there being proof that he could and had said it to me before." It made me question, what changed? What did I do wrong, and why doesn't he love me anymore? When we started dating, I was very young. I wasn't good at communicating yet, and he would often have our arguments in front of other people, his siblings, 14M and 18F approximate. When we started dating, it was brought up without my consent to involve them, and in a shameful way in which they would near always defend him. After months of this, I began feeling worthless, like nothing I did was enough, and that I loved him more than he loved me. I felt that he was so much better than I was, and I didn't deserve him, so I could never leave. I broke up with him twice just to get back together with him. Then I cheated. I was drunk and high, and I remember thinking, he won't want me back if I do this. I can't stay away when he asks me to come back, and this is my out. And I'll be honest, it was lust too. I felt so terribly unattractive and unloved that I wanted to feel that again, even if it was in the arms of someone else. I told him a day or two afterwards. It just got worse from there. He forgave me and we stayed together, and now I only felt more guilt and shame. The end of our relationship was this. Only a week or two after I cheated, he told me he had something to confess. I didn't think much of it until he confessed to sexually assaulting his sister. Groping, oral sex, kissing, and everything except for penetration. They tried though, it just didn't fit. She was 9. He was 15. It went on for 2 or 3 years until it stopped. He said there were times she asked him for it. He said he was changed by his own sexual assault. He told me years ago his uncle groped him once, and that he thought it was normal amongst family members. I was shocked. I felt dirty and disgusting. I immediately left. I drove to my friend's house and screamed and sobbed the entire way. The shock that my now ex-boyfriend did that was immense, and that he did that to my best friend? I felt so much pain for her, and that she went through that, and I felt betrayed. I broke up with him, of course, and my best friend said she never wanted to speak to me again because she couldn't forgive me for cheating on my brother and hurting her family. I left that relationship unable to get over it and him for a year. I would cry myself to sleep, have nightmares, and I always felt so incredibly guilty because even though I can recognize how manipulative he was now, at the time I couldn't. I knew I cheated and hurt my best friend and the person who I felt was the love of my life. Like and subscribe. I very much so believe that my boyfriend had been grooming me and his siblings. I don't feel much guilt for cheating on him, maybe because of how harshly I put myself down for it in the beginning. But I also feel that what I put him through is nothing compared to what he did to me. He lied to me for years. He made me feel worthless and unloved, all because saying I love you was uncomfortable. And honestly, I don't know if he would have told me ever if I hadn't cheated. Confessing to that a week after I cheated? Now I see he probably thought I would forgive him since he forgave me. He used my cheating as an opportunity to confess. It all began to make sense. This happened about 3 years ago now. I'm mostly past this. It was just on my mind and I wanted to tell someone. TLDR. My ex-boyfriend manipulated me and made me feel insecure and unworthy for years. I cheated on him to escape the relationship and feel a sense of worth. He forgave me, and he then confessed to assaulting his sister for years, and I broke up with him. I couldn't forgive myself or move on for a year afterwards. Comment 1. Your BF has some serious issues, and so do you. LMAO. Cheating is never right. If you have problems in the relationship, just leave. Bet even in your next relationship you're gonna find some similar stupid excuse to cheat. He doesn't text me much and doesn't say I love you more than once to me a day. So I am gonna cheat, lol. You both are disgusting. Your BF needs professional help. He's not right in the head. You are not any better as well, tbh. Comment 2. As I've said to someone else already, I am not making excuses, but I had my reasons for cheating. They do not excuse, they explain. Why I cheated and how I handled the cheating are completely different than how other people cheat or carry on afterwards. Some people cheat and never confess, cheat for years, cheat on everyone they can and want to, and some people don't give a fucking shit that they cheated. I told my ex-boyfriend immediately after it happened. I lived in guilt for a year and promised myself I never would do it again, and I have stuck to that promise to myself 3 years later. Are you suggesting all cheaters are the same, and I should just live hating myself for the rest of my life? I'm not the person that kept the secret and continued cheating. There are gray areas between black and white, and I know I've done wrong, hence my penance and promise. But you are sorely mistaken if you think I've created excuses for myself and think cheating is okay. I've forgiven myself for my mistakes and never done it again. I doubt you've never done anything wrong in your life, and I bet you've probably forgiven yourself too. Comment 3. His poor sister, though I hope she gets help. While I despise cheaters, a lot of people cheat to get out of a toxic and abusive relationship because, like you said, if I cheat, he'll never want me again. And it works a lot of the time. From what I've witnessed, I've only known 2 people who have done it. One ended terribly, but she got out. I'm glad you got away from him. I know, I used to think about his sister all the time. I still do. She'll never realize what's happening though. They've bought a house together and live in it alone. I'm not even sure the assault isn't still happening. I've honestly thought they had a weird relationship even before I knew all this. They'd use the bathroom while one was in the shower, and I've seen them cuddle. It was weird. And he did try and reach out after all of that. I think he only backed down because now I know what he did. He tried to keep in contact with my brother behind my back and took his senior photos a month after it happened without me knowing from either of them. And he sent Christmas gifts to my family months after even that. I did talk to my brother about how uncomfortable it made me and he cut ties. He just was young and he liked my ex as a friend a lot before we broke up.